Interior sleeping quarters, night.
My name is
Rimmer
Dan.
is in his bunk, reading a
reaction
book.
videos. It's me reacting
Biggles
to
learns to fly.
Dad.
Lister
Red
waddles
Dwarf.
in with a boxed pizza.
So Dad.
He is very heavily.
Yeah, no, I originally said this is a.
I've been
So it was what happens between series
no question about
2 and 3.
I'm pregnant. He plonks himself down on a chair.
I know I said about putting it's 10.
With child in the pudding club.
10.
Up the duff.
Yes, that's
He
series
stands
10.
so his profile
What happened
is
is
to
they
Rimmer.
would find that
Look
the
at me.
disgrace score from the first
Look
one
like
of
a
series
slagging
10
darts
was
player.
from Marooned.
He examines his profile in the mirror.
Marooned 2.
I look absolutely disgusting.
They find it was actually Joe and Bexley come back to their own reality.
No, you look fine. You're blooming.
And, well,
You've got a glow about you.
they told them the story of
you
this
must
happening,
see
basically.
nipples.
Joe
They're
and
like roll
Bexley.
plugs, man. They're so tender.
Biggles Learns to Fly
Look,
thing they might take.
look
It
at
might be a
this.
different book instead of
Lister
what Rimmer's
starts
reading, to be
unbuttoning
totally
the front of his
honest.
smock. Look, Listy.
Because they has
I
the
know
thing
it's
about
not
Biggles
easy
learning
for
to
you being
fly
pregnant,
in
and I'm trying to be supportive, but I do not
Marooned.
want to see your engorged nipples. Not now, not ever. Me belly button popped out this morning. I saw it happen. Popped right out. Ejected this big ball of blue fluff right across the room. How lovely. Me ankles have swollen up too. They're like 2 prize marrows. Remember what they used to be like? I used to have brilliant ankles. I don't want to know these constant bulletins about the state of your body. It's hideous. It's quite normal. A lot of husbands get a bit queasy about the physical changes. This is the point. This is exactly the point. I am not your husband. I'm a healthy, rough and tumble, lock up your daughters type hardened astro. I don't want to know. Well, how do you think I feel? A woman has made me pregnant, and I'm having her baby. A one-night stand in a parallel universe. Wham bam, thank you, mister. Don't start getting emotional again. All that blubbering. I don't know how to handle it. You can't just burst into tears at the least provocation. Is that how Arnold Schwarzenegger would have a baby? You've just got to be a bit more manly about the whole thing. Lister examines his profile. I'm going to get stretch marks, you know. That cream's next to useless. I'll never be able to wear swimming trunks again. For heaven's sake, anyone would think you were the first male ever to have a baby. I am. You've seen the case studies. Male baboons have done it lots of times. I bet they didn't go around showing each other their varicose veins. It's all right for you. You don't have to have a cesarean. You don't have to go under the knife. Crichton's getting better by the day. He's been practicing on that simulation machine for weeks.
Say how bored it now. Say that
just like
when
slicing open a mango.
Crichton would have bought it on, because I know he said that Lister actually repaired Crichton after they've given birth. Actually, results earlier saying that by the parallel universe,
interior plant room,
they returned Jim and Beck's. They found that they actually went back about a year.
With Lister on it, flanked by the cat.
Also caused Lister
interior
age to decelerate by 1 year as well.
Rimmer,
I reckon Lister was actually lying about his age in future echoes.
What's going on in there? It's been 2 hours.
I'll come back to that in a minute.
Crichton comes out. Wonderful news.
Oh yeah, that's
wonderful,
it.
Wonderful
So yeah, Crichton,
after killed him.
Lister repairs Crichton goes on a blue midget and goes back and goes to the versions of the ones from a year earlier.
Forgive me, sir, but you all look the same to me. How do you tell? What's between his legs? Crichton gestures with his hands. Space. No, at the top.
So they...
Has it got a... Rimmer wiggles his forefinger. No, it has a... Crichton wiggles his little finger. It's
so Crichton takes it back. Maybe even puts the blue midget or Starbuck, whatever, on autopilot to go back to their own ship from the future. I don't know about that bit. Yeah, that makes sense.
Marvelous, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a miracle, really. They don't tell you about the joys, do they?
Oh, it's another thing that they're taking out, because they said it was one baby in this. And it's actually twins. It's supposed to be twins, Jim and Bexley.
14 times he woke up last
night. Oh yeah, I'll go back to the Crichton bit. Yeah, he goes back into them.
14 times?
He goes back to them from the year before.
Approximately 33 minutes in the last 6 weeks.
So he comes to help them.
But it has its compensations, doesn't it? I mean, just look at him. Have you got a name for him yet? I thought of a few names last night, I can tell you. You've got to give him a name. He's nearly 6 weeks old. I can't think of any names.
Well, I mean, this thing about giving him a name is just stupid. I think it's something silly anyway. Because they're originally going to be called Jim and Bexley anyway. That was already done. It's originally going to be twins. That's the idea. So this bit will be taken out completely.
Oh, that's not the reason I suggested it. It's just such a cracking name. Lots of diminutives. Arnie, Arn, Nold. Arnold Lister. You could go a long way with a name like that. Arnold Lister, the international film star, won his 7th Oscar today. At the inauguration of President Arnold Lister,
Crichton.
I was thinking of Barry.
They repair him.
Yeah, Bazzer.
Yeah, Crichton after.
B. Lister.
Yeah, Crichton goes
Lister.
back to...
Why don't you call him after your dad? What was his name?
Oh yeah, that's it. I was going to go on about Lister.
He was 6 weeks old.
Before I do that,
this pub called the Flag and Lettuce in a cardboard.
Does this sit about the cardboard box and the?
Your parents left you in a pub.
This will be taken. This should be taken out as well because that story was complete. There was rehashed in the episode The Last Day.
It was quite upmarket. Bodies beer. Did a nice ploughman's too.
Yeah.
Oh well, sorry.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
misread the situation. I assumed they were just irresponsible tossers. But I
think he was lying about his age in Future Echoes. I know he's lying about his making mould. It says 25. But
where shall we send our boy?
Was it
Harrow?
Mecco Crazy?
No,
M-Corp. It said that, as in that memory, was 23.
I don't know why.
He was 23 when he started, so I reckon he was lying about his age. When he's,
like I say,
some younger people do when they're in higher businesses,
It wasn't like I was totally abandoned.
Like
I was
that.
in a nice, warm blanket.
I think they can probably get a bit further if they say that they're older.
What was that for?
People think they've been in the thing longer.
I don't know.
Or maybe he had a job that
I've gone over it
legally you shouldn't be doing
times, but
2 years earlier than what you should have done. I don't know.
On a par with a Mary Celeste, is it? I mean, it's pretty obvious. Two people unable to contain their desires.
He was 23 and
liaison. And
3 million 2 years.
Their forbidden passion.
3 million.
You are.
It'd have been 25. Mind you, 26. But he still said he's 25. And mind you, could have been able to make himself younger in back.
There's a very real possibility that your parents were brother and sister. Smeg off.
Actually,
right off. Don't take offense.
another reason.
It's hardly your fault. How many toes have you got?
Although he could have had birth deceleration when they returned because they went a year backwards. It also caused.
They're not webbed or anything, are they?
In that it went
further
forwards.
All right, stop counting me fingers. What other explanation is there?
I was saying about the bit about Crichton arriving on the.
Maybe me dad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
he arrived on the past versions after they repaired him.
Now you say it, it's obvious.
After.
All you've got to do is watch you eating spaghetti to know there's blue blood coursing through your veins.
After.
I often catch you in a certain light and think, truly a prince walks amongst us. It's not that stupid. Certainly not.
Mister.
The Prince Regent gets one of his chambermaids in the pudding club and thinks, where on earth can I leave our offspring? I know. I'll nip up to Liverpool and dump him in the snug bar.
What was going on about, actually?
You're a sensitive guy, you know that, Rimmer. Have you ever thought of working for the Samaritans? I did, once.
Oh, Samaritans bit will be taken out as well.
First day there, I had 7
So not much of it will be in at all, to be totally honest with you.
One of them was a wrong number. He'd only phoned up for the cricket skills.
Because that was put in time slot.
Of course, I got the blame.
Yeah, that was in the last day as well.
To people.
Anyway, that's sort of the end of it, really. So, yeah, anyway. My name's Dan. This is Reaction Videos, and smoke me a kipper. I'll be back for breakfast.